Storytelling comes to us through many forms of media.
Of course, we have our books and movies, but one of the most immersive forms is through video games.
They put the player in a position to actively contribute to the story where most other mediums do not.
As practicing filmmakers with a combined 20 years of experience in video production, we notice there are some games that are exceptionally cinematic.
So, why not try and take some of those scenes and recreate them as an exploration in the art of filmmaking?
This is Cutscene. Hello, and welcome to Cutscene, the show where we take video game cutscenes and recreate them shot for shot in live action with the intent of learning filmmaking technique. I am Chris Vielbaum.
And I am Nish Prescott. I'm better than you. I'm richer than you. And my dad owns this whole town.
Every day, human beings have to make decisions that impact their whole lives, big and small.
Like, should I eat this gentleman over a cliff for the betterment of human existence?
I'm sorry, what, gentlemen?
Hey, gentlemen. There's one around here somewhere.
It sounds to me like you're insinuating that you're going to commit something that rhymes with schmurder.
It's not like they can pin it on me anyways. I own the school. I own the town. Plus, no one would miss your punk.
Hey! Why are you getting so into this?
You played the game. It's an emotional investment. Plus, it was pretty well received back in 2016.
It's a game that has a lot of player choice in it. Every decision you make as the player, whether it's through dialogue or in-game action, has a direct impact on the story as it unfolds.
It reminds me of those choose-your-own-adventure books you and I have read. Every choice you make leads to a different ending. It's very fascinating.
I think we're ready to let them know what game we're thinking about before they might be concerned about you potentially throwing some gentleman off a cliff.
Right. We decided to try a scene from Life is Strange. The game was developed by Donut Entertainment and published by Square Enix.
The playable character Max discovers she has the ability to rewind time after she witnesses a murder in the school bathroom.
With the help of her childhood friend, Chloe, Max uncovers the truth about a missing woman and a sinister secret.
Now, the scene that we chose does take place at the end of the game, so
Spoiler warning is in effect.
if you haven't played the game, we'd recommend you play it. But if you're just interested in seeing what we're doing, then we're going to go check out the scene now.
This is my storm! I caused this! I caused all of this! I changed fate and destiny so much that I actually did alter the course of everything! And all I really created was just death and destruction! Fuck all that, okay? You were given a power, you didn't ask for it! And you saved me! Which had to happen, all of this did! Except for what happened to Rachel. But without your power, we wouldn't have found her! Okay, so you're not the goddamn Time Master, but you're Maxine Caulfield. And you're amazing. Max. This is the only way. I feel like I took the shot 1,000 years ago. You could use that photo to change everything right back to when you took that picture. All that would take is for me to... Fuck that. No. No way. You are my #1 priority now. You are all that matters to me. I know. You prove that over and over again, even though I don't deserve it. I'm so selfish. Not like my mom. Look what she had to give up and live through. And she did. She deserves so much more than to be killed by a storm at a fucking diner. Even my stepfather deserves her alive. There's so many more people in Arcadia Bay who should live. Way more than me. Don't say that. I won't trade you. You're not trading me. Maybe you've just been delaying my real destiny. Look at how many times I've almost died or actually died around you. Look at what's happened in Arcadia Bay ever since you first saved me. I know I've been selfish, but for once, I think I should accept my fate. Our fate. Chloe. Max, you finally came back to me this week, and you did nothing but show me your love and friendship. You made me smile and laugh like I haven't done in years. Wherever I end up after this, in whatever reality, all those moments between us were real, and they'll always be ours. No matter what you choose, I know you'll make the right decision. Chloe, I can't make this choice. No, Max. You're the only one who can.
Oh yeah, we definitely picked a doozy.
Yeah, it's just the scene itself made me just change the way I thought about the game as a whole and future games. Spoiler. Another spoiler. But my goodness, it's going to be a challenge for this episode.
Yeah, we definitely contacted the powers that be. We asked them to give us a tornado and lightning and rain on the day. It specifically asked for the day we're shooting, and they said the best we can do is next July.
Yeah, and if we shot a couple days ago, now dang near would be perfect for the conditions. But speaking of the conditions, that's one of the big issues that we have to implement.
I mean, the bright side is that we will be shooting lakeside, so we might get some wind just coming off the lake, which is, as long as it's enough, it'll sell enough. I mean, the camera moves, though. There's a lot of moving camera.
Yeah. I mean, it all starts from the first shot, and then that second shot, we have to not only show Max, we have to then,
Right.
my goodness, that is the biggest tornado I've ever seen. And also, wind.
Yeah.
I'm shaking. Okay, here's a town. And then here's our protagonist over there complaining about how they caused this.
Well, then the shot immediately following that, it starts like as a close-up on Max.
Yeah.
But then Chloe steps in the frame, making it like a wide. But then it kind of pushes in on Chloe a little bit. But then it starts to swivel.
Yeah.
And then it becomes an over the shoulder by the end of the shot.
Yeah.
So just shots 2 and 3
Yeah.
are going to be very difficult to do. Not so much on the day. A lot of the hard stuff is going to be in the edit, which is what I'm going to be in charge of. I have to figure out how to get a tornado in one spot, keep it there, and then pan over in the direction we're shooting. I mean, we're shooting in a small town that's right on the lake, but the town is facing the opposite direction, so we have to move the town. We have to move the town over to the other side in the edit.
Yeah.
And then keep it locked in that spot, and then I don't know. Do we go the extra mile and try to include the shrubbery and
Floating around.
yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about debris. I'm talking about just the trees. There's pine trees.
Yeah.
We're not shooting. Arcadia Bay takes place in Oregon, or like is a fictional town in Oregon, and we're not in Oregon.
No, not yet.
So do we add trees? Do we do that in the edit as well, just to give ourselves a little bit more work? I mean, there's that ripped apart shack that's right next to the lighthouse that I totally forgot about.
Yeah. And then also for your editing is, are we gonna handheld like do when the characters move, the camera moves, or are we gonna, okay, we're gonna have this still.
And then do it everything in the post?
Yeah.
Because neither of us are in this, I think we're going to do the camera moves on set. And so because then, because you'll be running cam, I'm going to be running the boomstick, and also working with the talent to make sure they get where they need to be. Speaking of talent, I told them that they have whatever creative freedom they so desire, but they are limited to where the shots are. So, like, we're trying to match the shots. Whatever they choose has to allow us to continue to do those shots.
Right. And also speaking of the talent, what did they think about the performance aspects of this scene?
You know what? I'm going to go give them a call. You sit tight.
All right, so I have now made the call to our performers for this episode. I am with Araya and Noelle. Araya will be playing Chloe, and Noelle will be playing Max. How are you ladies doing?
Doing great. Great. So excited. Awesome.
So, content spoiler warning for Araya specifically. I hate to call you out, girl, but you have not played the game.
I have not.
So you are coming into this blind. Noelle has, which means Noelle can rub it in your face.
Absolutely.
And,
very
you know,
excited.
we can tell you when you're wrong. About decisions.
I'm not going to be making claims like, no, this is what happened. Like, it is a choose your own adventure game, to be fair.
I am assuming you two have at least watched the scene that we'll be performing.
Yes, I have. Yes,
Okay.
I have.
So my first thought was just mainly the delivery of everything, right? There's a lot going on in the scene. There's a lot of noise, a lot of chaos going beyond our subjects. How do you think something like that would inform a performance, whether how you see it, how it was presented in the game versus how you might do it when we're on the shoot?
I think considering the scene is very, like, traumatic for the characters, it's, like, horrifying what they're going through. They don't know if they're going to live or die. And having that, like, what's happening, the storm, the tornado and everything, it's going to be interesting how that's going to be played apart on set. I don't know what effects or practical effects are going to be taking place. I'm very excited to find out. But if a storm isn't happening, or if there's or if we're acting it, I feel like it's going to be a little bit different to try and put yourself in that scene when you're not going through the experience at the same time, which is acting. But it's going to be interesting getting into that mindset of being, well, soaking wet faced with your inevitable death versus standing at a nice cliffside in the sun. Yeah.
Spoilers, all the budget is going into feeding and getting you guys out there. So practical effects is going to be pretty minimal.
I'd say my main thing as far as like what's going on, again, since I don't have the same context as the rest of us, I'd say due to like the storm and stuff that's going on from the scene that like I watched, I'd say I'd play into like urgency more. That'd probably be my main focus, so that might affect like pacing a little bit, but probably not too much. But there's like a very clear like subject matter of like what we're freaking out about, which often I think, at least in my acting performances, will cause like a lot more like being frantic in the character. So
The most interesting thing about the whole game as it stands, but like specifically this scene is it does showcase spoilers Araya, Chloe's growth from where she started versus where she is towards the end of the game. Um, in this bit, she is talking about how um, these people that are a part of her life are being impacted by the decisions that her and Max have made.
Mhm.
Based on the delivery that was presented in the game versus how you think, like the one line that really sticks out to me is the part where she's talking about her stepdad, who she does not have a good relationship with. But she brings him up, and she typically calls him like step douche or something like that. But this time around, she says stepfather. Like, where do you think that you would go with that?
There's definitely a couple ways I could do it, just since like I'm not as familiar with like the beginning, so like I'm not as well versed in her character arc as of yet. I'm planning on, doing more digging before this, but I'd say one of the ways that I kind of simply show growth through like things like that is regret. And like in this case, since she's like worried about dying, regret would it's oftentimes, at least in like my experiences, like analyzing performances of just any character in general, is regret is often at like the forefront of people's minds when they feel like their time is coming to an end. There's just like a new perspective of like, oh, I could have done things differently, and I probably should have, because they're going to remember me in this ill light that I am completely responsible for, essentially. So I'd say I'd probably take like a little bit more of a remorseful delivery in certain points.
And then Noel, and then kind of following the same trajectory. Max, or the player, has been making all these decisions throughout their adventure, and it's culminating into this one moment. Like, what is going through Max's mind during this? Like, how does one determine what is the best course of action and how to move forward?
I feel like with that final decision, that very end of the game, with whether she goes back and lets Chloe die or she lets the town get destroyed, it erases every past decision that she has made throughout the game or throughout the time she's had these powers, because the player and Max have been going through these decisions, doing her best to fix things, figure out what's going on, save people, preventing or dealing with the loss of Kate with her suicide. And she goes through all of this over the course of how many years with how much she's traveling, and then it's all just gone by the time she gets to that final moment, on whether she lets everything go to waste, or if she's able to go back and do as best she can to fix it, but still letting Chloe die.
So we have a lot to try to accomplish when we meet up for our shoot. It's going to be hopefully a lot of fun. It'll be a challenge for all of us. Jordan and I are like struggling trying to figure out how we're just going to do the first shot. The first shot is absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a challenge, but Jordan and I are looking forward to it. I hope you two are as well. So I'm going to bid you a good one, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Yes, can't wait.
Hi.
Hello, we are here at Upper Lake Park in Port Washington, Wisconsin, getting ready to shoot the scene. Y'all ready?
Absolutely.
Jordan's ready. All right, let's do this.
That's not my name in this episode. That's not my name.
This is my store. I caused this. I caused all of this. I changed fate and destiny so much that I actually altered the course of everything. And all I really created was just death and destruction.
Fuck all of that, okay? You were given a power. You didn't ask for it. And you saved me, which had to happen. All of this did. Except what happened to Rachel, but without your power, we would have never found her. Okay, so you're not the goddamn Time Master. But you're Maxine Caulfield. And you're amazing. Max. This is another way.
Feels like I took the shot 1,000 years ago.
You could use that photo to change everything right back to when you took that picture. All it would take is for me to...
Fuck that. No way. You are my #1 priority right now. You are all that matters to me.
I know. And you've proved that over and over again. Even though I didn't deserve it. I'm so selfish. Not like my mom. Look at what she had to give up. And she did. She deserves so much more than to be killed by a storm in a fucking diner. Even my step-father deserves her alive. There are so many more people in Arcadia Bay who deserve to live. More than me.
Don't say that. I won't trade you.
You're not trading me. Maybe you're just delaying my real destiny. Look at how many times I've almost died or actually died around you. Look at what's been happening in Arcadia Bay ever since you first saved me. I know I've been selfish, but for once I think I should accept my fate. Our fate, Chloe. Max, you finally came back to me this week, and you've shown me nothing but your love and friendship. You've made me laugh and smile more than I have in years. Wherever I end up after this, in whatever reality, those moments between us are real, and they'll always be ours. Whatever you choose, I know you'll make the right decision.
Chloe, I can't make this choice.
No, Max, you're the only one who can.
Okay. That was the scene. Let's talk a little bit about how everything came together.
All right, so I'll talk about how the day of shooting went. So the first issues is just personal technicality, especially given that setting the focus in like 2 shots, you can, a couple shots.
Exposure. The exposure was off.
The exposure, yeah. I think they were in close-ups, if I remember correctly. But there's glare, there's clouds. It's like, I'm pretty sure the exposure is on what I want it to be. I see the red dots on the thing it's supposed to be, but also I can't tell because I can't see. But then there's also it was one of our actors' first times in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So
she did great. She did do very well.
But
Did that sometimes.
She made rookie mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's learning. She's
yeah,
growing.
exactly, just like us. And then just towns being on wrong sides of
cliffs. But it was also, that area was a really good area for us to shoot.
Yeah, it was a nice bluff that overlooked the lake. It was in dead smack in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with traffic every once in a while.
Yeah.
But everybody that, happened to walk by with their dog were very friendly, let us pet the dogs.
Yeah.
And people were definitely giving us the glare as they were driving by.
Yeah.
But such is filmmaking.
Yeah. And other than that, I think for the shoot day,
I mean, it was pretty seamless.
Yeah.
We got everything we needed to cover.
Yeah.
We had multiple takes. So yeah, then the rest of it was on me and the edit. And the edit was as expected.
Yeah, right.
I was very upset because we had gotten that still plate of the town to slide it over to the other side of the bluff in post through masking techniques and whatnot. And I didn't have the time or the proper knowledge to figure out how to move the town over there, considering there's two trees like right on the edge of the bluff that was on Noel's side.
Yeah.
Which is where the town was supposed to be. So if I had more time, I have ideas of how I would have pulled it off, but it would have taken me like 2 weeks because I would have had to have hand tracked it instead of using that magnetic mask tool.
Yeah.
Which, okay, fine. We're focusing on trying to recreate the shots anyway. It's not going to be perfect, especially with the time constraints that we have. We were there for 5 hours, so yeah. The tornado, it was tough at first getting it into position and then keeping it where it needed to be as the camera panned over, but once I got it figured out, it looks okay.
Okay.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
In terms of just overall aesthetic, especially from what we shot to like my preliminary assembly edit, it looks and sounds great, which was incredibly helpful. And even your overexposed shots, because of the format we shoot in, it wasn't the biggest issue in the world. But yeah, I would say overall, I mean, not bad, given that we had 5 hours to play with and we spent $100 for food and gas.
Yeah. And that's the...
That was the budget.
Yeah, that's the...
So yeah, I would say it wasn't terrible for $100.
No.
For those of you who made it this far, thank you so much for your support and just watching. But if you are really considering supporting us further, take a look at our Patreon page. Link is in the description below. For just $3 a month, you get one video content every month, plus insider looks and everything else we do as filmmakers and as friends. If you can't do that, that is totally fine. We will appreciate the support you give by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. We will see you next time on Cut Scene.